Welcome to How Now, the podcast where we talk about how to live in the now. And here's your host, Kim Martin Raymond.
Good evening, peace and blessings, love and light. Welcome to another edition of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. I am your host, Kim Martin Raymond. I am a minister, spiritual life coach, author, and founder of Redefining You, LLC, where I help my clients to realign themselves, mind, body, and spirit. I'm happy to be back with you all. I am actually here live in Houston, Texas, and looking forward to another interesting and engaging show. I have a wonderful guest with me this evening who is going to tell us about the miracle of massage and how important it is in helping us in our path to wellness. And so, as is customary with the How Now podcast, I'm going to ask my guest to introduce himself at this time.
All right, thank you, Kim. I appreciate the intro. My name is Brian Walters. I'm a licensed massage therapist, founder of the Miracle of Massage in Conyers, Georgia. Prior to the pandemic, we had a fairly large location in Stone Mountain. And, having been shut down for many months, we had to close that down permanently.
Wow. Yeah, and I mean, well, first of all, like I said, I thank you so much for being with us this evening and for taking time out of your schedule to talk about this important topic of massage. And like you said, you're a licensed massage therapist. And like you said, you had a practice prior to the pandemic in Stone Mountain, Georgia area. And I'm sure things were going well. I'm sure that you were getting a lot of consistent patients in, and then, like you said, all of a sudden, bam, COVID.
Things were going well. We specialize at the Miracle of Massage, we specialize in pain relief. As you know, there are many different types of massage for different situations. And something that I realized years ago is that most people know massage that they see on television or some of the major chains, not to call in the names, for relaxation.
Right.
But a lot of people don't know massage can relieve pain, headaches, relieve the extreme pain of lupus, fibromyalgia, that kind of thing. So years ago, we decided to specialize in just pain relief. And the Swedish spa massage, we basically leave that alone.
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting that you say that, because that's all I knew massage for as well. I did not know massage for pain therapy at all. I thought it was always just like you said, for that spa treatment, you go in and you have massage. And to be honest, to me, it was painful. To me, it was, I don't know whether it was the type of massage that they did. I've heard there are different types, like there's deep tissue massage or whatever, but I was never a fan of massage until I came to you, because
Thank you. That's a huge compliment.
Because to me, every time I went or every time I was like, this is supposed to feel good. I said, because I hurt afterwards. I didn't feel like it was comfortable. And so so tell me a little bit about the difference between, some of that like deep tissue and regular massage, because I just don't know.
Most relaxation massage is Swedish massage.
Okay.
And deep tissue massage in that kind of environment is where they offer you a little extra pressure and they upsell it as deep tissue massage. Most of what we do here as medical massage, or what is now called body work.
Okay.
Body work is correcting dysfunction. Someone has neck or shoulder pain, we look to see what's causing it, what is not working the way it should work, And what have we got to do to reverse that so it works the way that God built us to work? So our medical massage or body work is not usually fun, and sometimes painful. But when it does work, a day or two later, you're on top of the world.
Awesome.
Being able to bring someone who has had lower back pain for the past 10 or 15 years to a point of no pain without drugs, is a beautiful thing.
Wow. And so it seems like a lot of it involves making sure that you understand the body, because I mean, we can all give massages at home to our significant others, but we don't know what we're, what exactly we're feeling for, or what it is that we're attempting to do. We're just thinking that, oh, if that person says, oh, it feels great, then we're like, oh, okay, we've done something. But there's definitely or clearly a difference in the type of massage that you do, because I'm sure that it involves more of knowing the different muscles in your body, knowing the different pressure points and things like that, correct?
It does. It requires, well, all massage therapists have to go through pretty rigorous anatomy training, and so we know what we can work on, how hard we can work on, what we need to stay away from, all that kind of thing. But those of us who specialize in pain relief, in body work, medical massage, it requires that you spend a lot more time understanding how these work. For example, every teacher I've ever met in the past 10, almost 11 years has neck and shoulder pain. A few of them have lower back pain, but every single one has neck and shoulder pain. Once you hear the occupation or the type of sports the person plays or that kind of thing, with experience, you pretty much know what's going on here before they even tell you.
Wow. So that tends to be a big one. Like you said, a big one tends to be neck and shoulder pain.
Neck and shoulder for teachers. Firefighters are slightly different. Different professions affect the body in different ways. Now, across the board, worldwide, the greatest complaint is back pain, especially lower back pain. And most people have never heard this, and some people look at me really weird when I say it, but a lot of times lower back pain is caused by your butt muscles locking up. If your butt muscles are inflamed and locked up tight, it refers pain to your lower back.
Wow.
And a lot of medical people just keep working on where the pain is, which is the lower back. Well, they'll never fix it because that's not the cause of the pain. So your butt muscles are the largest, thickest, densest muscles in the body, and they're stacked 3 deep. And God builds them that way because unless you're just moving your hand or your finger, every function, twist, turn, on the bed, off the bed, in the car, everything, you're using your butt muscles.
Wow.
That's why they're that size.
I would have never imagined that.
Most massage places will not touch your butt. Or your stomach in some cases. So you get a full body massage that bypass the largest muscles in the body, and bypass your stomach, which is your core.
Right.
So those spa type places that won't touch your butt or your stomach can't fix most back pain because they're not able to approach approach the root of the pain.
Right. Well, it makes sense though, because when you think about it, we sit on our rear ends, we sit on our butt all the time, and so yeah, to say that some of it stems from there makes sense because it is the muscle that we sit on longest, and I'm sure that you've seen a surge in back pain because so many of us have to sit now with. I know I have not been as active as I was because I'm sitting. We're doing Zooms. We're sitting for meetings. Everything is in that seated position. If we're not moving, we're constantly on that muscle that you're talking about. So that makes perfect sense.
There's definitely been a surge. I mean, and one of the things that I ask people when they first come in is, what do you do for a living? What do you do most often? Because the body's going to adapt to what you do most often.
Right.
Ladies who wear high heel shoes, and you're on a 45 or greater degree angle, and your toes are crumpled up in the toe box of the shoes. You notice after they've done that for a period of time, they can't straighten the toes out anymore.
Right.
So things like that. High-heeled shoes contributes a major factor of back pain. Why? Well, when you step up on the high-heeled shoes, don't you brace back to balance?
That's right.
Okay, well, if you brace back in your chair now, you feel all your muscles from your tailbone to your neck tighten up. That's what enables you to brace back. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now you ever try holding a fist for 5 minutes?
No.
You can't do it. The body's not designed to do it. And when you open your fist, you see the red blotches in your hand?
Yes.
So it lets you know that when you activate those muscles for a few minutes, it blocks the blood flow.
Right.
Well, when you climb up on the heels and you brace back for 8 hours, you're blocking the blood flow to those muscles in your back. So as cute as society has taught us that the women look in heels is very detrimental for their well-being.
Absolutely. And then doesn't it shorten your muscles too, or something like that? Or it makes it hard? Because I knew a lady who had to wear like high heel slippers and everything because she just her feet could not go flat again because that muscle wasn't exercised enough or something like that. And I was like,
because if the muscle is in a shortened position all the time, then the body adapts to that. Right. Now, when you're ready to come off that shortened position, now that becomes a stretch.
Right.
Whereas before you did the heels, it was norm.
Right.
Now it's adapted to a shortened position.
Right. See, it's amazing. The body is a beast. It really is, and it adapts, to what we do to it. And like you said, we have abused our bodies in so many different ways. And I mean, I know that we have like, in my office, I have a little riser so I can stand up and work on my computer and sit down. I have a
desk.
Yes, it's that little desk riser that goes up and down so that I can put my computer on there so I can stand. But then I also have a yoga ball for balance because I try to do things that keep me going up and down so that way I'm not constantly in that seated position. Because last year in September, I was diagnosed with spinal stenosis. So the activity level that I used to have of being able to exercise for an hour. I used to walk on my treadmill, and then I got on the treadmill and he was like, tell me when you start to experience pain. And after 8 minutes, I could not walk on the treadmill anymore. And he said, that's as far as you can go, or you're going to continue to damage the discs in your back. And that was devastating to me because being an active person and I had lost significant weight at that point and was really getting into my exercise and running everything. And now all of a sudden that stopped. And I was like, now what? I had to get a recumbent bike that was kind of elliptical in motion. So it still does the arms and the legs, and I can position it back. So that's the alternative. But I definitely understand the importance of massage, and that's why I'm going to be booking my appointment to come and see you real soon because it's painful. And how do these things happen, or what are some of the things that we can do to try to, ease some of that pain in our backs?
Well, it depends on what's causing the pain. But as I said, most of the times it's your butt muscles, your gluteal muscles that are locked up. Also contributing is just below the ribs and before your pelvis, there is a little slot there that is filled by a muscle on either side called QL, quadratus lumborum. And that can also cause lower back pain. The beauty of it is when you have enough experience with body work, you can pretty much touch it and know where it hurts and why it hurts and what you need to do to fix it. Whereas the typical spa massage people, their concentration is working with the body's sense of touch to calm the body down and get the person to relax. On our side of it, we're working with everything else but the sense of touch to calm the body down. We're looking to physically fix what's gone wrong.
Right. And is that like where you have like those little nodules, like where you can feel actual little knots in your back or in certain areas of your body? Because I know that when I've had massage in the past, I noticed that, they'll say, oh, I could feel a little knot here, or I feel a little something here, and it's working on trying to alleviate those things.
Yes, because it's tissue or muscle and tissue inflammation. Soft tissue, muscles, ligaments, and tendons are called soft tissue. All right, that's what we specialize in. As opposed to, say, a chiropractor, they specialize in bone alignment.
Gotcha.
Both situations can cause pain, but the idea is to figure which ones you're dealing with. So someone who's been in a car accident needs to go to the emergency room. The emergency room checks you out to make sure that you don't have any situation that will kill you.
Right.
Then they pass you on to your regular doctor, who needs to send you to a chiropractor. Because most times when you get hit, that impact knocks your bone alignment, your vertebrae out of alignment.
Right.
Your nerves run between the vertebrae to supply the entire body. So if the vertebrae is not sitting right on top of the other one, properly cushioned, it's going to be resting on a nerve. Well, wherever that nerve that is resting on supplies, you can feel pain, numbness, tingling, or burning, or all of the above in that area. So you might be in a car accident and you're feeling pain on your right side under your arm. And people are, that doesn't make sense. Well, first thing you do is see your chiropractor. Once they establish that the bone is in proper alignment, then whatever else is left belongs to me, soft tissue repair.
Gotcha. So there's definitely a method, so depending on, like you said, what is the source of the pain, that's going to determine how to best, to best resolve the problem. That's good to know that you may need to see a chiropractor and then see a massage therapist after, not reverse it, because you may be doing a little more harm than good if things are.
And here's the key thing I realized, that most people, the medical profession doesn't seem to be set up in a way that helps that. Because most people, they call the attorney sends them to the chiropractor sends them to physical therapy.
Right.
And I get them when those things are not working and it's been a year or a year and a half and they still feel pain. They ticked off with the chiropractor, they ticked off with the physical therapist, and they're saying we're in pain, and the attorneys are saying, yeah, but we have to settle this, and the people, but we're still in pain. So a lot of people even in the legal industry, medical industry, and so on, don't know of the soft tissue end of it.
Right.
So for them, there's just that blank space that they can't explain.
Right.
Because of that, there are a number of situations that are going to surgery that don't need to go to surgery. I had very recently had a lady who had excruciating pain in her right elbow. She said it was a 15 out of 10. She hadn't been able to sleep for weeks. It got worse when she tried to lie down. They rushed her to Emory. Emory thought it was a heart attack. They did their tests, realized it's not a heart attack, and they concluded that she had acute carpal tunnel. Okay? And they gave her drugs, and she still couldn't sleep, and she was still in pain. Now, her sister is a nurse, referred her to us. And the lady sat on the table and we talked about it. And I said, okay, she sat there, you just saw the tears continue to come down. And with her permission, I pressed the top of her chest, right above her heart, or it was on, well, the other side, I'm sorry, it wasn't above her heart, it was on the right side. And I held it for about 2 minutes. And when I released it, I asked her, how much pain is in the elbow? She said it went down to a 1 out of 10.
Wow.
Okay. That's not carpal tunnel syndrome. You see what I mean? Some of the doctors were telling her she had to have surgery. Now, it took about 2 to 3 months for her to be totally pain-free. But she is totally pain-free without any surgery and without the drugs.
Wow.
There's a place for surgery, there's a place for drugs, but there's also this place for soft tissue body work that most people don't know about.
Right. And how long typically is that process of once they come to you and they're in your care? Is it several months? Is it several weeks? Or
It depends. Each person is different. It depends on the intensity of the situation. It depends on how bad it is. It depends on, is the person doing anything to continue to irritate it? So we sit with each individual and we look at the habits. How do you sleep? Face up, face down on your side. If you sleep on your side, you have a pillow between your knees. Why? Well, they tell pregnant women that, but they don't tell them why.
Right.
And they don't tell everybody, pregnant man, woman, or child, that you need to do this. Here's the why. When you lay on your side, that leg on the top angles down to the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the entire weight of that leg on the top is tugging on your hip.
Right.
So a lot of ladies get into their 40s and 50s, they have hip pain that no one can explain. So if you put a big pillow between your knees, not your legs, because you put it between your legs, it gets hot. Put it between your knees, it makes the top leg lay flat.
Gotcha.
It's not tugging on the hip. It makes your pillow under your head has to take up the space between your shoulder and your neck.
Right.
All right. If it's too high, you have neck pain on both sides. If it's too low, you have neck pain on both sides.
Right.
And the arm on the top needs to hug a big pillow. Because normally what we do, we tuck it under the pillow or tuck it under our face.
Right.
Well, when you do that, you block your joint capsule, you block your shoulder capsule, your elbow capsule, and sometimes your wrists. You wake up in the morning, you have pins and needles. A lot of this stuff is easy once you have it explained. As a friend of mine says, you can fly a 747 if you know how.
Right.
If you don't, it's complicated.
That's right.
So there are protocols for sleeping on your side, protocols for sleeping on your back, protocols for sleeping face down, which is the worst way. That's my favorite way. That guarantees you back pain. So there are tricks for that too.
Right.
So when someone comes into us, they usually leave with an abundance of information. I don't expect them to remember it. So they'll text me and say, what was that thing you told me about this? And it's like, here you go.
Right. But that's important. Just like you said, it's important to know what to do, because it's not just a matter of coming in. Because I think what happens is we get so excited about the fact that the pain is gone. And so we're like, yes. And then you run home and then you continue to do the same thing that you were doing that was causing the pain. So you make a very valid point there. It's important for us to know that it's not just about dealing with the pain. It's also a matter of maintenance. What can we do to stop it from continuing to come back? I know that it's wonderful for them to keep coming to you, and that's wonderful for business and everything. But at the end of the day, they need to know what are some things that we need to do to make sure that we're keeping our, that we're minimizing that pain and we're maximizing the advantages of that massage so that those things don't pop up.
Yes, a big part of what we do is try to find out what habits the individual has that caused that in the first place.
Right.
Because once we understand that, then don't do that anymore.
Right.
Right. And that we find is critical too. That way the person can work with their body. Another thing too is whatever we suggest, we are able to explain it. Right. Never go to a medical person or anyone and pay them if they are not willing to explain to you what's going on. Right. If they're bright enough to understand it, so are you. Now, if you understand what's going on, one, you'll remember it, and you understand the mechanics of it, you can make it work for your advantage. Right. If I just tell you, touch your toes twice every morning at 10 o'clock, what does that do? Right. But if I say, now, if you touch your toes twice every morning, you've triggered this, this, and this, we're going to help you with this, this, and this. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
That's it. That's it. And that's the one thing it has to do. It has to make sense. And if you do explain it, just like to a child, children always ask why. If you explain the why, people are more inclined to do it and to do it more consistently. Mm-hmm. Now, a question I have now is if it's something that they have a pain with, do you do or are you able to do recommendations like for them to get certain things at work, like if they need an ergonomic chair or things like that, or is that more on the chiropractic side?
No, we do that. I don't know if we are able to do it, but we do it anyway. One client of mine, over the years, she's been complaining that, the problem she has in the chair at work. And a few years ago, a chair at work, and I picked up one of my office chairs, one like the one sitting behind me somewhere, and I drove it to Buckhead, and I showed up at her job, and I pushed in this chair, and of course, everyone turned. It was a law office. And I told her, stand up. She stand up. I pulled that chair out to try this one. She sat down and said, all right, problem solved, and I left.
I love it. I love it. See, that's the kind of care you get at the Miracle of Massage.
You got to bear in mind that, yes, you might ask for a chair at work. If they don't give it to you, it's not their body being jacked up. So for the $100 or $150 or $75 or whatever it costs for a chair, buy yourself a chair.
Yeah.
When you leave the job, take your chair with you.
Because you're gonna need it anyway at the next place that you go.
Of course.
Yeah, just like you said, sometimes it's just a matter of investing in yourself and sometimes taking the steps and not just waiting for the job to do. Because if they don't do it, just like you said, you're just going to continue to be in pain because they're not going to provide what it is that you need. Now they have so many different programs and so many different care credits and other types of things that you can use to get the things that you need, to help you medically. But I love that you make those recommendations, that you talk about the things that they need and how to sleep properly and how you cater to making sure that, you're solving their specific problems. Because just like you said, there are people who have all kinds of back pain, but they're in different areas. Like my sister did customer service. She worked for a phone company in customer service for years. And then she was also hit by a school bus. So she has osteoarthritis and she has rheumatoid arthritis. One from sitting so often or sitting so much at her job. And she worked for the company for like 27 years and then was hit by a bus and then had a whole different set of pain and was having to take all kinds of pain medication and all kinds of things and even wound up shattering her rotator cuff and then having to have a reduction, a breast reduction, because there was just too much pressure on her back in too many different areas. And so, we have different types of pain, but none of them are addressed in exactly the same way because there are so many different variables that come in. So I like that you come in and you have a consultation with your patients and find out exactly where they're at. So it's good to be able to articulate where that pain is coming from and what it feels like, because then you know how best to address it.
Well, another thing too is that from in many different ways, we realize that everyone is different. So often in society, everyone's painted by the same brush. We're all different in several different ways. And so we try at the Miracle of Massage to cater for people's differences. The massage table, I designed that when I was in massage school almost 11 years ago. So it literally opens up, you've tried it, it opens up under your breast so your body weight doesn't push your breasts.
Right.
And especially ladies with plus size breasts, that padding you up with pillows, that stuff don't work. It's uncomfortable. And I've met a lot of ladies who don't do massage because that's uncomfortable.
Right. That's it.
So in many ways, we have for ladies who have hot flashes, we have we have 2 ceiling fans, we have 2 HEPA filters, medical grade HEPA filters running in the same room. And we have our own fresh air exchange system that sucks the air out to the room continuously and pulls in fresh air.
Beautiful.
So if someone has a hot flash, they literally tell the artificial intelligence, if I call the word, it will wake up. They tell it, turn on the fans, and we have fans on both sides of the room that cool them down in a short period of time.
Beautiful.
So everything that we do is catered to help our clients feel more comfortable, feel at home. It needs to be the one place where you're okay to be you.
Yeah.
You know, you can take up the facade when you go back through the door, but when you're there, you can be you.
Yeah, because I think it's important, especially when you talk about touch, and especially in this COVID time, people are a little, antsy about, coming to it. But I'm sure that creating that environment and having those precautions and things in place, are giving them that level of comfort that they need to be able to come in and have the services done that are necessary. And also, I think also in the explanation, talking to them about, the importance of touching certain muscles and letting them know why you're touching these muscles, and that, we're not just trying to fill you up. We're doing this so that way, we can eliminate that pain that's in your body, and we're wanting to push you in that space of healing, and that's so important. So as we start to wrap things up, I want to just talk about some tips or some things that people should do when it's time for them to really come and see a massage therapist.
This is slightly off topic, but one of the things that I trip over a lot that I think we should mention is most of us apply heat whenever we're in pain. And heat is warming and it's comforting and it feels good. It's important to bear in mind that when you're in pain, something is swollen. All right? Muscles, ligaments, tendons, soft tissue, something is swollen when you're in pain. So if you reduce the swelling, you reduce the pain. Now, when you use heat, it feels good, but what you're actually doing is that you are expanding the blood vessels running through that area. And in doing so, when you remove the heat, you feel worse than before you applied the heat. So most times, it's not every situation, but most times what you require is ice. Ice doesn't feel good, but it reduces the swelling, the inflammation, and therefore in turn reduces the pain. This is why you see the athletes, if one of them trips, sprains, ankles, and so on, they pack it with ice.
Gotcha.
It's to contain the swelling.
Gotcha. Now they need to, because ice is cold, they need to just have some type of padding in between the ice. Like I know some people put the ice in the Ziploc bag. Should they put like a light towel or a light paper towel or something in between?
Most towels and rags and so on are too thick, and they absorb 80% of the cold.
Okay.
If you got a gel pack, great. If you use ice, if you put ice in a Ziploc bag, break up the ice, crush it up, slam it on the floor a few times.
Gotcha.
Because a block of ice is only going to sit on the corners or one flat point to where you're trying to contact.
Gotcha.
Whereby, if you crush it, it will more wrap around where you need it to contact.
That makes perfect sense.
Put that Ziploc bag in a pillowcase. A pillowcase is thin. A rag or towel is too thick.
Gotcha.
All right, and typically 20 minutes of ice, remove for the rest of the hour, repeat continuously.
20 minutes. That makes perfect sense.
There's too much to talk about in this period of time. You do know that, right? You could do this forever.
Yes, we could do that forever. But what I'm saying is this is good information. This is wonderful information to start the conversation of the importance and the miracle of massage and how it can relieve pain, and how there are so many other things that are part of it just besides the touch. It's the consistency in making sure that we're not doing things to exacerbate the pain, to make the pain continue. So we can come in and we can get those massages, we can touch on those points, but the miracle is that the pain can be relieved, and that it does not have to be surgically or medically with
prescriptions.
Correct.
A key thing to bear in mind though, Kim, is that I know intention has a lot to do with it.
Right.
When we work with a client, we're working to get the person pain free.
Right.
We don't strive for pain management. Pain management, if it's totally out of our ballpark and that's the best we can do, then that's pain management. But just like a child, if you expect nothing from a child, you'll get nothing.
Right.
So we always expect to find a way to work to get the person pain free. And I think that's a key part of what makes us different.
Yeah.
Also, we still have the program, I think it's called Hands for Veterans,
Yes.
that we have been part of for years, whereby we work on a certain amount of veterans as we can fit in the schedule for free.
Beautiful.
We've done volunteer hospice work. I actually contacted a major hospital in my area probably about a year ago and offered the people who are in pain, who can't afford what we do,
Mm-hmm.
if you give me a spot and an assistant, I'll do it for free.
Beautiful.
They literally laughed me around the block.
Wow.
And they passed me to every department in the hospital so each department could get a laugh. One day someone will work with me and put all that together, because, you know, for the many years I've been in this country, a lot of times I've not had medical insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of continuing to talk about it, they say it's better to light a candle than curse the dark.
That's right.
So if I can lay hands on, say, someone for 15 or 20 minutes and bring down the pain from 10 out of 10 to 5 out of 10,
Right.
it's still better than suffering 10 out of 10 pain.
That's
You
it.
know?
That's
So here it's all passion. So however we can reach out to people, we have a free phone consultation, because there are times people don't know where to go next.
right.
And we're not going to bring you in if it's something we can't fix. We'll recommend who to see. If it's a chiropractic thing, we're not going to say come in for an appointment. That defeats the purpose.
Right. And that's important that you redirect them to where they need to go, so that way you're getting them the assistance that they need. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing, except with the veterans and with, you know, providing some free services for people, because, you know, it's hard enough for us to cope in this, you know, space of pandemic, but to be in this space and to be in pain and in chronic pain, you know, it's not a good space to be in. And then we're not able to do the things that we need to do for ourselves and for our families, because we're not able to take care of ourselves. So it's important that, you know, places like this exist for that reason.
It would be really awesome if a lot of people could actually see it in action. You have 2 more minutes?
I sure do.
Okay, there's a young lady, a buddy of mine who owns a store, asked me to do him a favor and would I work on her. And she had been in a couple car accidents, and she was literally unable to stand for more than 5 minutes without excruciating back pain. And even getting her here, it took half an hour to get her in the car in pain. And whenever they hit a ripple in the road, her back went into spasms.
Wow.
Okay. Within 3 months, this young lady, she's in her 50s. She's now able to go back to the job that she had quit because she couldn't stand at the cash register for 8 hours. And she's now assistant manager at a different job where she is making more money and standing for longer than 8 hours without being in pain. She's now lost some weight because now she's gone back to exercising.
Yes.
You know, and she was in such pain that her kids could not hug her because the pain level went up. So to get a hug from her kids, she just had to suffer the pain.
Wow.
You know, being able to now bend and tie her shoelace again, put on her bra without pain, and that kind of thing. She'll come in once every 2 weeks for a simple follow-up session, and her pain level is 0 to 1 or 2.
Right.
You know,
It's
and
all about quality of life.
This is a lady who they told her if she doesn't do the surgery, they have nothing to do with her.
Right.
She hasn't done the surgery, and she's in the best condition of her life right now.
See, and that's good. It's good to know the alternatives. That's what's important, that there are alternatives and there are a second opinion, third opinion sometimes to what can be done. But it's wonderful to know that the option of being able to eliminate or to minimize chronic pain is possible through the miracle of massage. And it's wonderful to know that that option exists. And that's why I'm grateful for platforms like this, where we can talk about things like this. Like you said, we can go on and on. And, because it's important for people to realize that it doesn't always have to lead to surgery. It doesn't always have to lead to medication, although those things may be necessary. I love that you at least take the time to explain to people, you take the time to have those consultations with them and say, okay, this is going to be the best course of action for your individual thing. So they just need to know to reach out to their, massage therapist and to find out what is going to be the best option for them.
Yes, and why? And why? Let your therapist explain to you why. Right. There's got to be, this is the best course. This is why I say it's the best course.
Yeah.
We have a free phone consultation. So sometimes the person calls, leaves a message, we have to schedule it. But it's a lot better talking to someone in the industry.
Right.
I need to buy a pair of shoes, specialized pair of shoes. I'm not going to talk to myself. I don't know anything about shoes. But someone in the industry who does not have an axe to grind. I needed to go to wherever you need to go to be well. I don't necessarily need to come here.
Right.
There's more than enough people who need to be here.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. Well, tell people how they can get in contact with you, Brian, if they happen to be in the Conyers area or happen to be in the Atlanta area, how they can get in contact with you.
Conyers area. The Miracle of Massage is now a home-based business, which was never the plan. But during the pandemic, my clients started showing up at the house, and they said they tracked it down on the internet. So we designated one part of the house, and it's a very spacious. It's about the size of a 2-car garage room. It's huge, with its own bathroom and heating and air and all that kind of thing. And that's how it's continued.
Yes.
And I'm grateful that my clients would follow me out here into the bushes. So there are some people I know are bothered by home-based businesses, and I understand.
Right.
What we encourage them to do, we have a big leather sofa in the massage room. Bring your spouse, bring your friend to be with you. And as long as you're okay with the person sitting there with you, they sit with you through the entire session.
Yeah.
Our website is themiracleofmassage.com.
Themiraclemassage.com. Okay.
And our main number is 678-883-2873.
2873. Okay, so if you want to get in contact with Brian, you can go on the website, The Miracle of Massage. So that's www.themiracleofmassage.com. Or you can call him at 678-883-2873. And that will be in the description for the show when it airs. So we'll make sure that people reach out to you if they're interested in having a free consultation or coming into your facility to have a massage. And let me tell you something, Brian and I go way back. I always used to tease him. I used to say his hands are like hamburger helper hands. I've always said that because he has the best hands. They are the softest hands. They are miracle workers. He has helped me in some of my wellness weight loss journey and was able to help me through that. And he is going to help me through my spinal stenosis and helping me to, eliminate some of the pain there. So I'm looking forward to that. But I mean, you cannot get a better person to describe and to explain to you what it is that he does, how he does it, and he does it with such style and grace and such professionalism. You're not going to find it anywhere else, bar none. I'm just going to throw that out there because that's my personal opinion and I can give it because it's my show. so you get it straight from the horse's mouth. One other thing, Brian, that I always ask my guests before they leave the show, what are some things that you're doing to live in this now, in this space of pandemic? I know it's been difficult for people to cope, and we say that COPE is the acronym for Create Our Peaceful Existence. What are some things that you're doing to keep yourself grounded in this season?
Well, I've always been a homebody, so this for me is bliss. And I literally tell people when they come in, welcome home, because, you know, it is my home. And so it allows me to literally love on the people who come through the door. And it's a warmer situation because it's not a commercial situation. You know, you come in, there's a sign at the doors, take off your shoes, you take off your shoes. For the people who can't go barefooted, we got brand new socks at the door. Whatever you use, take it home with you. And you know, even the temperature of the room is adjusted to your comfort level.
Right.
You know, I have clients who temperature got to be 66 degrees. You know, I'm working and my teeth are chattering and they're comfortable. And there's some clients it's got to be 73. So we adapt all that to each individual. And being able to work from home allows me to take time to meditate. And as a matter of fact, I find that more and more each day, people are asking me to teach them the meditation. That was never my plan, but hey, you got time, you got a quiet space, okay, let's do this.
That's
You
it.
know, because as one lady says, you know, whenever she gets anxious, which is every minute or every day, her muscles are inflamed and she's back in here.
Right,
So the root of the problem is to deal with her anxiety.
right.
So by walking her through the meditation, she now has control to bring the anxiety under control whenever she wants at her own pace.
Wow. See, and that's a beautiful thing. I love that you say that your home, you know, it's your sanctuary.
Mhm.
And it's a space where you can bring people in and welcome them and do that meditation. I love that's what brings you joy, you know, and like I said, it's difficult in this season for a lot of us. And you know, I'm sure that for some it's you know, where it's you know, helping with the pain management. I'm sure it's therapeutic because not many of us get that touch. And sometimes we need that touch. So it's not just physical, it's emotional for some people as well, I'm sure. So, you know, being able to help with the pain, but also being able to provide that touch that people need, you know, it doesn't get any better than that. You know, it's a twofer.
Yeah, we have a scenario which we're bringing back called Brian time. And Brian time is usually at the end of the day, if there is time, for someone who just wants to sit on the sofa and talk. You know, sit on the sofa and hold hands. There are times that people don't necessarily want to tell you what they're going through. They just don't want to go through it by themselves.
That's right.
You know, so that's a time where no one is judging you. You know, where if you want to share, you share. If you don't want to share, you share, but you're not sitting there by yourself. And the older I get, the more I realize how desperately we need that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we need each other.
Mhm.
You know, and I mean, it's a blessing that you've been in this industry for as long as you have. And like I said, you've always been wonderful and being able to bring knowledge, to be able to bring comfort, to be able to bring, you know, that you know, experience of being pain-free, you know. So it's just always, you know, I wish you nothing but continued success in all that you do. Yeah, I love you with all my heart.
I
And
appreciate it. But it just dawned on me for a second. You were with me when I started this thing, when I started in my basement.
Yes.
Yes, you were. Me right into massage school in the basement.
Yes, I was a willing participant in helping you to get it. Yes. So
Yeah.
yes, for those who do not know, yes, he said, hey, I need somebody. I was like, okay, hello, test dummy. I'll do it.
Yeah. I remember those days.
No problem. So yeah, we've been at this for a long time, and it's beautiful to see your business flourish, and to see how you shared so much of what you learned with so many people and have brought so much belief to so many people. And so, just keep on keeping on, and we'll continue to support you in all that you do. Again, the website for him is www.themiracleofmassage.com, and the phone number is 678-883-2873. And with that,
we're only in Conyers now.
only in Conyers.
Not in Stone Mountain anymore.
Not in Stone Mountain, but that's okay. It's just up 20. Those of you who are in the Atlanta area, get in your car, get a book, put in a CD, plug in your iPod or whatever you do. Just go see him. Go and see him. Okay, Brian, again, thank you so much for joining us and for talking about the miracle of massage and pain therapy. And make sure that you check in with your local massage therapist and make sure that they're telling you the why. Remember, he said that, the why. And remember again, pillows when you're sleeping. Remember again, no heat, ice. Okay, these little things are going to be, helpful in the future as you're managing your pain. Okay, Brian, again, love you, darling.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's been my pleasure. Okay, and that will do it for this edition of the How Now podcast, where we talk about how to live in the now. And until we see you the next time, I say peace.
Peace.